Good morning, gentlemen. Today, I would just be talking about our third book. We call it Psychology for All, Volume 2. As you have all aware, me, along with my partner, Kamrod Chandrasekhar Azad, have written 4 books together. First book was Decoding Services Selection Board, a career in the armed forces as an officer, the exclusive for SSB oriented, and future direction of SSB testing. Then came Volume 1, that is Psychology for All. This particular covers up briefly some of the important topics which are necessary to understand what SSB is and to understand ourselves. Subsequently, we thought we'll try and compile all relevant psychological topics which are pertinent and important for all of us. You may be a teacher, you may be a parent, maybe a student, maybe even a corporate. These particular topics in brief are going to help us in functioning in day-to-day affair. So let's talk about our third book that I call it as a Psychology for All, Volume 2. Volume 2. This particular book, as I said, we never intended to do it. As after having written our first book, The Decoding Services Selection Board, and having gone through almost 3 editions, we did find there was a lack because psychological phenomena required to understand ourselves were not adequately covered there, which is necessary for us to have somewhat detail. And then having looked at it, in continuation, we thought it is better to compile all relevant topics relevant in our environment. This we call it Psychology for All, Volume 2, co-authored by me, Karan Keshav Prasad, and my partner, Kamrod Chandrasekhar Azad. And this book, all our books have been published by Savar and Quill. As I said, this is a supplement to our earlier book, Psychology for All, with a vision to compile all possible topics in psychology relevant to the Indian context in brief as a progressive journey in various volumes to the extent of a reference or a guide in one place. You have find all these topics, nothing new. You Google around there, but you don't find all these topics at one place. Our aim was to compile all these topics at one place, so at one point you can refer all the topics which you want to refer to, and then probably you can keep on doing your research work, or you can keep on doing what we require. But for bulk of it, we don't require more than what is given in these books. Okay. So these topics are of relevance to parents, teachers, counselors, schools, colleges as a ready reference. The straightforward format makes it pleasurable and easy read. The book took its shape, as I said, training material developed in course of training, which is already on the web. Okay. Now next, the feedback just gave it as far as the volume 2 is concerned. It says Indian context focuses on secular topic tailored for everyday life in India. Target audience serves as ready reference for parents, teachers, counselors, and students. Format uses a straightforward, easy to read style derived from practical training. Modules, as we said, we are in this personality development in corporate as well as schools and colleges since 2013 onward. Strength is highly approachable for non-academic readers, avoids heavy clinical jargon, limitation functions more as an introductory guide. We can afford to have a detail. Once we have got a brief, then you can talk about anything. The other topics which have been covered in volume 2, development of psychology in India, personality theory in Ayurveda, Panchkosha and personality, unconscious, ironic process theory, Freudian slip, feeling, thoughts, and behavior, definition, types and causes, effective intelligence, social intelligence, hormones and psychological effect, cognitive psychology and information processing in computers, aphantasia and perception, apperception, which is what you call thematic apperception test. What is it really? We must really understand. We don't really understand. Personality disorders, cognitive behavior, self-determination theory, learned helplessness, attribution theory, brief summary of popular theories of motivation in psychology. Okay. Now, next we have got Victor Broom's expectancy theory of motivation, social exchange theory of relationship, transactional theory of stress and coping, social identity theory, social comparison theory, the social penetration theory, autism spectrum disorder, hikikomori syndrome, very important because this is what is happening now. We would like to get secluded and remain alone. That is called hikikomori syndrome. Psychology of friends, psychology of impatience, psychology of regrets, resentment, exasperation, bereavement and grief, psychology of jealousy, emotion regulation, 8 concepts of Bobbin theory, emotional differentiation, triangulation. Then we have got psychology of divorce, very important in our context nowadays, psychopath, men and women, trauma bonding, schadenfreude. In our context, what is happening around there? We are happy when others are unhappy. We are unhappy when others are happy. That is a phenomenon which is taken a root in our society. Bullying in schools and workplaces, conduct disorder, opposition defined disorder, manipulation, misinformation, disinformation, very important in today's context, psychology of office politics, psychology of negotiation, negotiation attitude, psychology entrepreneurship, mere exposure effect, placebo effect, spotlight effect, and Zeigarnik effect. They are the different topics in quite a brief, which is sufficient for bulk of us. We don't require anything else. As far as we are concerned, both of us are from San Sultalaya. I was psychologist at 24 SSV, and my partner, he was qualified and he was the president at SSV Bangalore in Naval Board. Since 2013, both of us have been doing capsules on personality development classes in various schools. We have about 8 to 9 schools. We have visited many colleges and universities as well. As I said, today we have already together written 4 books: Decoding Substance Selection Board, Psychology for All, Psychology Volume 1, 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4 is under publication nowadays. Over today, when I'm with pride, we say almost about 400. Now, though I have written 250, there's an old slide still. They have joint services in various academies, NDA, IMA, OTA, and other aspects around it, including girls. Okay. This is as far as we do conduct online courses for 10 to 12 days with 1 or 2 hours daily covering all techniques, including interview. And you can contact me if you so desire on this number. And books which I had referred or decoding subject syllabus, these are the you go to Saber and Quill, you'll find all these 4 books available. They give you some more 10 or 20% rebate also. And volume 4 is under publication. And we do expect it will be on the desk by 15th August 2026. Okay, so that is what we wanted to say. Okay, that's all. I think our aim is to bring all psychological topics at one place so that we don't have to go referring to different either internet or any other books for reference on there, we get a considerable idea about these particular topics. They are in quite detail. It is not for academic orientation where required research, but for common, including psychological students, it is necessary that they can have brief idea about these particular topics. I hope uh, you will all appreciate our effort, and your appreciation is very important to guide us to proceed ahead in this direction as much as we can. Thank you. It's great talking again. Thanks a lot.